Have you ever felt like a ghost in your own story? You're texting, laughing, sharing your life with someone you really vibe with, and then poof, she's gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence. Like you never existed. Or maybe she's still around, but it's a roller coaster. One day she's affectionate, posting hearts on your stories, leaning into every word you say. The next day, cold, distant. You're left refreshing your phone, wondering what the hell happened. Sound familiar? Let me be real with you, this isn't a coincidence. This is a pattern. And unless you learn how to read the game and beat it, you'll keep finding yourself stuck in the same emotional loop. Hurt, confused, overthinking every move like it's chess when she's playing poker. But here's the truth, no one tells you. Women don't play games because they're cruel. They play games because they're wired to test. They're testing your frame, your patience, your emotional center. They're asking, can I shake this man? If the answer is yes, you lose, every time. But if the answer is no, you can look emotional chaos in the face and stay calm. That's when everything changes. This video isn't about blaming women. It's about empowering you to recognize the game, to stay grounded, and most importantly, to stop bleeding energy into situations that don't serve your growth. Let's talk about how to master yourself in the storm. Let's talk Stoicism. Stoicism isn't about being numb. It's not about ignoring your feelings. It's about owning them so completely that no one else can weaponize them against you. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't chase approval, doesn't flinch at rejection, and doesn't spiral when things don't go his way. That kind of man, unshakable, magnetic, dangerous in the best way possible. So today, I'm giving you 10 Stoic strategies to take back control, not by manipulating her, not by faking confidence, but by rewiring the way you move through relationships so you never get played again. These strategies aren't hypothetical. They've helped thousands of men regain power in their dating lives, rebuild broken confidence, and attract partners who actually respect them. We start with the foundation. Without this, nothing else works. Picture this. You're in the middle of an intense NBA playoff game. 2 minutes left. The crowd is screaming. Your team's behind. Everything is on the line. Now imagine you're the point guard and you lose your cool. You panic. You rush plays. You react emotionally. What happens? You lose. Because pressure doesn't destroy you. Your reaction to pressure does. That's exactly how dating works. When a woman pulls away, gives you mixed signals, or suddenly starts acting distant, most guys crumble. They overthink. They chase. They become emotional beggars, trying to win her back through neediness, guilt, or over-explanation. But a Stoic man, he does the exact opposite. He detaches emotionally, not by shutting off his heart, but by separating feeling from reaction. You don't stop caring. You stop letting those feelings control your actions. You stop being reactive. Because here's the truth. Women will test your emotional resilience. Not to be cruel, but to see if you're real. To check if you're a man who stands still when everything else is shaking. When you detach emotionally, you're telling the world, I am my own center of gravity. Let's make it practical. Say she stops texting for 2 days out of nowhere. Most guys would spiral, did I mess up? Maybe I should say something sweet. Maybe she's mad, I should fix it. You don't flinch. You stay on mission. You work out. You handle your business. You get sleep. You laugh with your boys. And when, not if she reaches back out, you respond when you choose from a grounded place, not a reactive one. Because the real flex isn't silence. The real flex is peace. Emotional detachment isn't a trick to get her back. It's a tool to get yourself back. Your self-respect, your balance, your masculine energy. And here's the kicker. The more grounded you become, the more she notices. Not because you're cold, but because you're composed. That kind of energy rare. And rare is attractive. She doesn't want a man who spirals. She wants a man who anchors. So next time she ghosts, flips the vibe, or throws emotional curveballs, don't chase. Don't flinch. Don't fix. Detach. Breathe. Move forward. Let her feel the calm of your silence and watch what happens next. Let me ask you something. If a woman tells you, I really like you, but disappears for 3 days after a great date, or if she says, I'm just super busy, but somehow finds time to post thirst traps on Instagram, what should you believe? Not her words, her patterns. Because anyone can say anything, but behaviour always tells the truth. Most men get emotionally hooked on what a woman says. She said she missed me. She said she's just bad at texting. She said she's just confused right now. No, brother. What she said is irrelevant. What she does over time, that's your data. Let me paint a picture. You meet a woman. First week's fire, late night calls, playful texts, plans for the weekend. You're feeling good. Then boom. She vanishes for 2 days. When she returns, she's cold. Short replies. No enthusiasm. Then just as quickly she's sweet again. Laughing. Dropping inside jokes. Mentioning next weekend. And then cold again. Welcome to the cycle push-pull. It's a game conscious or unconscious to see if you'll chase. To test, can I make him emotionally addicted to my approval? If you fall into the loop texting more when she withdraws, giving more when she gives less, you fail. But when you recognise the pattern, you reclaim power. How? By no longer personalising her actions. By realising it's not about you. It's about how she manages attention, and that's when you stop dancing to her rhythm. Instead, you create your own. Let's break it down. Next time you sense that push-pull vibe pause, don't react. Don't adjust your behaviour to get back her warmth. Just observe, is this consistent? If not you, adapt not emotionally, but strategically. Sometimes that means pulling back. Sometimes it means setting a boundary. Sometimes it means walking away entirely. Here's a hard truth. If someone wanted to prioritise you, they would. If she wanted to communicate consistently, she could. No more excuses, no more decoding. From now on, you're watching actions, not catching feelings, off breadcrumbs. So when a woman shows you a pattern of inconsistency, believe it the first time. And respond not with emotion, but with clarity. You're not decoding her. You're defining your standards. And once you stop reacting to mixed signals, you stop attracting them. Here's the brutal truth. If you don't set the rules of the game, someone else will, and chances are they won't play fair. Too many men enter relationships like passengers, waiting to be told what's acceptable, what's not what she needs, and how far she can push before you react. But here's the deal: in any healthy relationship, boundaries aren't optional. They're essential. They're not about control. They're about self-respect. Think of boundaries like the frame of a house. They don't limit what can be built. They protect what's being built. Let's get practical. You meet a girl. Things are going well. But suddenly she starts flaking on plans. Cancels last minute with vague excuses, shows up late without a heads up. Most guys, they stay quiet. They say, it's okay, no worries. Why? Because they're afraid of scaring her off. But here's what really happens. She clocks it. She sees you let it slide. And now she knows This man doesn't enforce standards. Respect starts to slip. And once respect erodes, attraction follows. The fix: set the boundary early before disrespect becomes routine. You don't need to be aggressive. You don't need to make it dramatic. You simply say, calm, clear and confident, "Hey, I value consistency. I totally get that life happens, but last minute cancellations don't really work for me. If this isn't the right time for us to connect, that's cool, but I don't do the back and forth thing." Boom. No guilt, no shame. Just a line drawn with dignity. And guess what? That one moment of honesty will do more for your dynamic than 100 polite, no problem texts. Because boundaries aren't walls, they're invitations. They say, "Here's how I operate. If you want to be here, this is the standard." And if she respects it, great. If she doesn't, even better. You saved yourself months of confusion, drama and emotional drain. Here's another example. You're seeing someone and she starts flirting with other guys at parties. Maybe she's testing you. Maybe she's careless. Either way, your instinct might be to ignore it, or worse, to blow up emotionally. But you pull her aside afterwards and calmly say, "Look, I'm not into open-ended signals. If you're interested in exploring other options, that's totally alright, but I'm not sticking around for that." You're not reacting, you're responding. You're not controlling her, you're choosing you. Because the man who sets boundaries early is the man who owns his value. And when you own your value, people either rise to meet you or fall away. Either way, you win. Picture this. You're at a rooftop party in downtown LA. Lights are low, music's vibing, and you're chatting with the woman you've been seeing for weeks. Everything feels electric. Then, suddenly, out of nowhere, she drops it. "My ex used to bring me here all the time." Instant gut punch. You weren't expecting it. You weren't talking about her past. But now, she's just planted a bomb in the middle of your vibe. What do? If you're like most guys, your brain floods with questions. Why is she bringing him up? Is she comparing us? Is she even over him? And just like that, you're off balance, emotionally hijacked, but not you. Because you understand the rule, he who stays calm wins. Whether it's a passive-aggressive comment, sudden coldness, or public flirting with another guy, women will test your frame consciously or subconsciously to see if they can shake it. Not to destroy you, but to measure your gravity. If you flinch, overreact, or lash out, she learns one thing. This man is emotionally fragile, but when you stay calm, when you don't give her the reaction she expected, you flip the power dynamic instantly. Let's break this down. She brings up her ex. You nod and say, "Cool, sounds like he had good taste in rooftops." Then redirect the conversation. No edge in your tone, no sarcasm, just unshaken. She flirts with another guy in front of you. You don't compete. You don't glare. You don't sulk. You smile, excuse yourself, and go talk to someone else you know. Or better, stay right where you are, completely unfazed. That right there is stoic composure. Because here's what most men don't realise. It's not about what she did. It's about what you do next. You don't control her tests. You control your response. And your response becomes the signal of your value. The calm man, the man who doesn't chase chaos, who doesn't escalate drama, is rare. And rarity just like power. You're not a robot. You're not pretending things don't affect you. But you're choosing to act from centre, not from emotion. Let me give you one more scenario. You're out on a date. Things are going well. Suddenly she starts teasing you in front of others, throwing jabs that feel personal, crossing the line. Most guys either snap back or shrink. You look her in the eye, calm and steady, and say, "Interesting joke." I don't really go for shots like that. All good though. Short, direct, no escalation. In that moment, you have done 3 powerful things. 1. You've acknowledged the moment without ignoring it. 2. You've set a line without needing to fight. 3. You've shown her that your self-respect has no off switch, and if she respects you, she'll recalibrate. If she doesn't, you already know what to do. Walk with peace, because calm is your superpower, and no one, no ex, no test, no flirtatious power play can take that from you. Let me tell you the difference between a man who wins in life and a man who chases validation. One lives by vision, the other lives by reaction. A man driven by vision doesn't get distracted by temporary chaos. He doesn't overinvest in someone who sends mixed signals. Why? Because he's building something bigger than any one relationship. That's the power of long-term goals. Most guys, they treat every interaction with a woman like a life or death event. She didn't text back panic. She's acting cold spiral. She flirts with someone else. Instant emotional collapse. Why does this happen? Because they've made her the center of their world. Their happiness, their energy, even their self-worth depends on what she does or doesn't do. But the Stoic man, the one who wins, he builds his life like a skyscraper, brick by brick. Purpose first, people second. Let's say you're launching your first startup. Long hours, late nights. You're focused, obsessed, locked in. Then a woman you're seeing starts pulling away. Fewer texts, slower replies. She suddenly needs space. A man without vision would lose his mind. He'd start chasing, worrying, wondering what changed. He'd start treating her attention like oxygen. But you nod, smile, and go right back to building, because your identity doesn't hinge on her. It hinges on what you're creating, what you're chasing, who you're becoming. And here's what's wild. That kind of energy is magnetic, because most women are used to guys who drop everything at the slightest shift in attention. But when you don't, when you keep your rhythm steady, they feel it. They notice. And suddenly, they're the one wondering, why isn't he shaken? Why isn't he chasing me like the others? Here's another example. You're in law school, finals are coming up. Your schedule is brutal. You've been seeing someone casually and she texts you something vague. I feel like you're not as invested as before. Most guys would throw themselves into defense mode. Wait, no, I really like you. I've just been busy, I swear. Let's talk, I can make time. But not you. You respond with clarity and calm, I hear you. Right now, I'm locked in on my priorities. That's where my focus has to be. I'm always down for quality connection, but I'm not going to sacrifice my future for someone who doesn't understand that. You didn't beg, you didn't apologise, you stated your path. And here's what that response does. 1. It separates you from 95% of men who are needy for emotional security. 2. It tells her this man is going somewhere with or without me. 3. It reframes the dynamic she now has to qualify herself to be in your life, not the other way around. Here's the core idea. When you prioritize long-term goals, you stop reacting to momentary fluctuations. You stop obsessing over why she's distant and start focusing on why you're still behind on your goals. You stop investing in uncertainty and start doubling down on discipline. And most importantly, you become emotionally independent because you no longer need her approval to feel good about yourself. Your wins aren't tied to attention, they're tied to legacy. That's what makes you powerful. Not that you don't care, but that you care more about your purpose than you do about her mood swings. So build your body, grow your business, write your book, stack your wins, and when the right person enters your orbit, they'll respect your mission or they won't belong on the journey. Let's be honest, when someone hurts us, especially someone we've been emotionally open with, our first instinct isn't wisdom, it's revenge. She flirts with another guy. You want to flirt back harder. She ghosts you. You want to ghost her twice as long. She pulls away emotionally. You want to make her jealous, show her. You've got options. Feels justified, right? But here's the hard truth. The moment you react to hurt with retaliation, you hand over your power. Because now you're not leading, you're mirroring. You've gone from masculine creator to emotional echo. That's not strength. That's insecurity in disguise. Stoicism teaches us this: you do not control what others do, but you have full control over how you respond. And in that gap, between emotion and action, lives your power. Let's break this down. Say you're at a bar with your girl. A guy walks up, starts chatting her up, clearly flirting. She leans in, laughs a bit too hard at his jokes. You feel it: rage, jealousy, disrespect. Most men would explode, confront her, puff up their chest, maybe even cause a scene. Others go cold, withdraw emotionally, start texting other women the next day to prove a point. But you observe, breathe, stay composed. You understand that her behaviour is data, not a directive. Later that night, you calmly say, I don't compete for attention. If that's the energy you're putting out, we're not aligned. All good, but I won't entertain that twice. No yelling, no sarcasm, no retaliation, just clarity, boundaries, and peace. And trust me, that hits way harder than any emotional outburst ever could. Because when you don't retaliate, you're telling her, I am not yours to play with. I belong to my own standards. You don't manipulate. You don't guilt. You don't play mind games in return. You simply remove access. Let me give you another example. She ghosts for a week, no explanation. Then suddenly pops up with a casual, hey stranger. Most guys would do one of two things. 1. Ignore her, completely trying to make her feel what they felt. 2. Respond coldly, throwing shade or trying to win the power back. Both are reactive. But the high-value man responds with one thing alignment. You say, hey, no hard feelings. But I don't do inconsistency. Wish you the best though. And then you walk away. No follow-up, no checking her stories, no fishing for reaction. Because revenge may feel good for 30 seconds, but self-respect that lasts a lifetime. Here's what most men don't realise. When you retaliate, even subtly, you prove you were affected. And when she sees you needed to get even, she knows she still has emotional leverage. But when you stay calm, steady, and choose to disengage with dignity, you send a signal louder than any drama: you don't control me. You never did. And that kind of emotional mastery, that's terrifyingly attractive, not just to women, but to the world. Because people sense it. That unshakable composure, that refusal to operate from pain. And guess what? It's not weakness, it's power, it's restraint, it's maturity. Anyone can throw a punch, but it takes a king to withhold one when it's deserved. So the next time someone disrespects you, tests your ego, or tries to get under your skin, don't fight back, elevate, step out, move on. Because when you no longer feel the urge to win the game, it means you've already won. Let me ask you something. How many relationships have crashed? Not because of lack of love, but because of poor communication? The answer: too many. But here's the thing, most men don't communicate. They either shut down or explode. They avoid hard conversations because they fear looking needy, or they wait until they're already frustrated, then lash out emotionally. Neither works, both destroy respect. Stoic masculinity isn't silent, it's precise. A strong man doesn't just feel things, he names them. He doesn't just wait to be understood, he states what he needs without apology. Let's break this down. You're seeing a woman who's been distant lately. Short replies, cancelled plans, something's off. Most guys, they go quiet waiting, hoping she'll come back around. Or worse, they double down on validation. Did I do something wrong? Are we okay? Let me know if you need space. That kind of energy, it signals insecurity, but a high-value man approaches it differently. He observes, he assesses, and then he brings it up calmly, directly, like a leader. Hey, I've noticed the vibe's been off lately. I'm not here to chase or assume. I just want clarity. If something shifted, I'd rather know than guess. That one sentence does more than a week of anxious overthinking. It shows emotional intelligence. It invites honesty without pressure. And most importantly, it tells her I'm secure enough to talk like an adult. But what if she deflects, gets defensive, plays vague? You don't argue. You don't debate. You don't fish. You simply clarify that's fair. Just know I don't do inconsistent energy. If we're aligned, great. If not, I'm okay moving on. You've just done something most men never dare to do. Set emotional standards, verbally, without aggression. And trust me, that earns more respect than any silent treatment ever could. Here's another scenario. She makes a habit of interrupting your workday with drama, random emotional calls during meetings, guilt trips when you can't reply instantly. Most guys either 1, try to soothe her constantly, 2, blow up and say you're too much. But the Stoic man says, hey, I value emotional connection, but during work hours I need focus. Let's catch up after I'm done. That way you get my full attention. Short, clear, non-defensive. It's not about shutting her down. It's about training the relationship dynamic. And guess what? The right woman will appreciate this. The wrong one. She'll feel uncomfortable because she can't control the tempo anymore. Either way, you win. Because here's the deeper truth. If you don't speak your truth, you'll attract people who violate it. If you never say, this doesn't work for me, you'll keep tolerating behaviour that chips away at your peace. Clarity isn't rude, it's masculine, and firmness isn't controlling, it's leadership. So from now on, ditch the passive waiting. Drop the silent resentment. Forget the indirect hints. Say what you mean what you say, and do it without emotion controlling the delivery. Because in a world full of men who either say too little or explode too often, the one who speaks with calm conviction, that's the one who leads the room and the relationship. There's one principle every powerful man lives by: your peace is not negotiable. It doesn't matter how attractive she is. It doesn't matter how great the chemistry was. If being around her consistently drains your energy, stresses your mind and confuses your heart, it's not worth it. Most men get this backwards. They chase connection at the expense of clarity. They tolerate disrespect because of potential. They overinvest in someone who keeps destabilizing their emotional world, hoping, waiting, wishing she'll go back to how she was. But here's the truth. If your inner world is in chaos, it doesn't matter how good she looks on the outside. You can't build a life of power on a foundation of emotional instability. Let's get real. You're texting someone who's hot and cold. She's into you when it's convenient, distant, when you need support. You keep telling yourself she's just going through something, maybe in being too sensitive. I don't want to lose her. And while you're overthinking her every move, your workouts slip, your business slows, your mind gets foggy, your confidence gets shaky. Congratulations, you've made her inconsistency your identity. But the Stoic man, the man with vision, he doesn't wait for chaos to settle down. He takes a hard look and asks, is this connection making me stronger or weaker? If it's the latter, he pulls back. Not with anger, not with games, with self-respect. You don't need permission to protect your energy. You don't need closure to reclaim your center. You just need the courage to choose yourself before you lose yourself. Think of it like this. You're the CEO of your life. Your time, your mental bandwidth, your emotional focus, they are limited assets. Would a real CEO keep investing in a project that constantly bleeds? Resources misses deadlines and underdelivers. Hell no. He'd cut the losses, recalibrate and reinvest in what moves the mission forward. You must do the same with people. If someone constantly leaves you drained, doubting or emotionally distracted, it doesn't matter how much history you have. You pull the plug, quietly, powerfully, completely. And what happens next? You return to center. You go back to early mornings, long lifts, cold showers and focused hustle. You double down on your routines, your nutrition, your mindset. You start feeling grounded again, alive again, because you're no longer outsourcing your joy to someone else's emotional weather. And here's the kicker, when you prioritize your well-being, you don't repel women, you attract better ones. Why? Because high-quality women aren't looking for emotional janitors. They're drawn to men who protect their peace, because that's the kind of man who can protect theirs. You're not just showing boundaries, you're radiating emotional leadership. Let me leave you with this. Next time you feel anxious because someone's pulling away, next time you catch yourself refreshing her texts more than reviewing your goals, next time you realise you're shrinking to maintain the connection, pause, step back, ask, what is this costing me? And if the answer is your focus, your sleep, your self-worth, it's too damn expensive, pull back, reinvest in you, and watch your whole life elevate. Because nothing, no attention, no affection, no fantasy is worth trading your mental clarity for confusion. Your peace is the fortress. Guard it like your future depends on it, because it does. In the age of instant everything, likes, replies, next day delivery, patience is rebellion. You want answers now, closure now, that text back now. But relationships don't operate on your timeline. They move with emotion, uncertainty, delay, tests, confusion. And here's where most men fall apart. She pulls back for a few days, they panic. She doesn't text back in the afternoon, they double text. She says she needs space, they fill that space with neediness. But the Stoic man, he doesn't chase time, he controls tempo, because he understands patience isn't passive, it's powerful. It shows you're not addicted to immediacy. It proves you're emotionally self-sufficient, and it sends the message, I'm not rushing anything that isn't right. Let's say you're seeing someone. Things are great, but out of nowhere she starts being slow to respond. No good mornings, no Friday plans, vague energy. You feel the anxiety building, the need to fix it, the urge to do something. Don't. That moment, the tension, the silence, the not knowing is the test. Do you collapse into reaction, or do you stand still in your value? Because the man who rushes the moment loses the moment. Here's the game. Most women aren't testing you maliciously. They're testing your capacity to withstand emotional space. And when you show them, you don't chase clarity, but instead hold your ground with grace. That's when they realise this man isn't like the others. Let me give you a real-life example. You're talking to someone new. She goes 2 days without replying. Your gut says she's not interested anymore. But your calm says, let it breathe. Day 3, she texts. Something happened at work. She's been overwhelmed. And just like that, the connection resumes. No damage, no insecurity. Because you passed the test by doing nothing. That's the quiet flex most men never master. Because here's the deal. If you can't tolerate silence, you're not ready for depth. If you can't sit with uncertainty, you're not ready for real connection. Patience isn't just waiting, it's how you wait. You can wait anxiously scrolling her IG stories, or you can wait with purpose, lifting, creating, winning. Because while other men are pacing back and forth, emotionally starved for attention, you're building, you're cultivating presence, and you're letting her feel your absence, not as punishment but as power. Here's the final truth. Patience doesn't mean you wait forever. It means you don't force things before they're ready. And when they're not, you walk with peace. Because the man who doesn't rush never looks desperate, never begs, never breaks. He simply waits or walks with power. There's a moment in every man's journey where he has to answer one question: am I willing to lose her in order to keep myself? Most men say yes, but when the moment comes, when she starts pulling away, acting cold, testing your limits, they stay, they chase, they compromise, they hope. But the high-value man, he knows when to walk away, and more importantly, he means it. Not as a manipulation tactic, not to trigger a reaction, but because his self-respect has a bottom line, and once it's crossed, there's no negotiation. Let me be clear, walking away is not giving up. It's leveling up. It's realizing that your energy is too sacred to waste on someone who doesn't value it. It's understanding that no matter how attractive, how exciting, or how deep the connection once felt, if it starts costing you your peace, clarity, and worth the bill is too high. Let's say she keeps flaking. She's always busy, never initiates, leaves you hanging for days. Most guys wait it out. They make excuses for her. They accept crumbs, hoping for cake later. You recognize the pattern, and then you deliver the most powerful line in dating: I'm not feeling mutual energy here. No hard feelings, but I don't stick around when it's one-sided. And then you actually walk. You don't message again. You don't stalk her socials. You don't wait for her to notice you're gone. Because the strength isn't in leaving. It's in not looking back. Here's what makes this strategy so powerful. Most women are used to men who say, I'm done, but secretly hope shall change. When you walk away for real, calm-centered, final, you become unforgettable. Not because you made her chase, but because you reminded her a man with standards is rare. A man who enforces them is irreplaceable. Sometimes she comes back, sometimes she doesn't. But either way, you win. Because you didn't stay where you weren't seen. You didn't fight to be chosen. You chose yourself. And that's the most masculine move there is. In the end, this journey isn't just about women. It's not about ghosting games or mind tricks. It's about something deeper. Becoming the kind of man who cannot be moved because he already knows who he is. You see, the moment you stop needing external validation, the moment you stop adjusting your energy to win her attention, the moment you reclaim your time, your mind, your peace, that's when you become truly dangerous. Not because you manipulate, but because you master yourself. You don't chase love, you attract it. You don't seek respect, you command it. And you don't play games because you've outgrown them. Stoicism isn't coldness, it's clarity in chaos. It's peace without weakness. It's walking into every room, every date, every relationship knowing, if she adds to my life, great. If not, I'm already whole. Let that be your compass, because women will come and go. Emotions will rise and fall, but your foundation, that's what will carry you through storms. Build it strong, guard it fiercely, and never trade it for temporary connection. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Which of these 10 Stoic strategies hit hardest for you, and why have you ever walked away and felt more powerful than ever? Or did one of these lessons expose a weak spot? You know you need to fix. Drop your thoughts below. No filter, no shame. This is a space for growth and real conversations. Let's hear from the men who refuse to be played and choose to lead instead.